Hi, welcome to Street Priest Ministries. I'm your host, Brother James. We're taking the Gospels back to the streets. Today's drive-through message is Jacob's Ladder. So turn in your Bibles to Genesis 25:22 through 26. Never taught on Jacob before, I don't think. But he's an interesting character in the Bible that I can relate to in the Old Testament. Some guys are just more earthy than others, and he's one of them. You can kind of relate to Jacob. Matter of fact, we're all Jacobs. It's a little Jacob in all of us. Now, we'll start with Jacob's name. Well, actually, let's go to Genesis 25. It'll explain it himself. We ain't got to start. It'll talk about his name right here. So go to 25, verse 22. And the children struggled. Now, Jacob, in case if he's if you're a novice or something, you're not really into the Bible. I'm sure you heard of Abraham. Everybody's heard of him. Well, this is Jacob is Abraham's grandson. So that's what we're reading about right now. And the children struggled together within her womb. Now, Rebekah is pregnant. That's Abraham's son is Isaac. And his wife, Rebekah, is pregnant with twins, Jacob and Esau. And they're fighting in the womb. This is how it starts out. They're grappling for position in the womb. And the children struggled together within her. And she said, if it be so, why am I thus? And she went to inquire of the Lord. And the Lord said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb. Pay very close attention. This is very important. 2 nations. 2 nations are in their womb. 2 nations are in thy womb. And 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels. So understand, this is of God. God's in control of this. And the one people shall be stronger than the other, and the elder shall serve the younger. So the baby child is going to be the boss. And the older child is going to be the servant to the younger child. So you got that, right? And when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb. And the first came out red all over, like an hairy garment, and they called his name Esau, which means red man. And after came his brother out, and his hand took hold of Esau's heel. Now this is where he gets his name. And his name was called Jacob, which means heel catcher, supplanter. In English, hustler. And Isaac was 80 years old when she bare them. Now, we're going to go from there. Now that we establish his name, now Jacob, always keep in mind, means to get over, to get ahead. Look out for number 1. We're all Jacobs. That's why I said if anybody in the Old Testament we should be able to relate to is Jacob. We all have that nature. He had it in the womb. He's trying to he grabbed the hold of his brother in the womb, trying to pull him out so he can get ahead of him. But he held on to his heel. He didn't want him to come out first. Now when you came out first, that means whoever the firstborn child received the inheritance. That's all the inheritance. And the inheritance in this case had to do with what God had promised Abraham. He promised him that he would have kings come through his loins, rulers, judges, kings, and the King of Kings, Christ himself, was to come through this lineage here. So these two kids struggling in the womb. One of them was to get that blessing that was promised through Abraham. And Jacob, God said he's going to give it to Jacob before they were even born. Now, you go to the New Testament, you see in Romans, I can't remember exactly where it's either Romans or Hebrews. I know it's either Hebrews 9 or Romans 9. But anyway, he said, Jacob I loved and Esau I hated before the kids were even born. So God already predetermined who he was going to give his inheritance to. Now, we're going to do a lot of skip tracing, so bear with me. So now we established what his name is. Turn to Genesis 27:1. Because there's a little Jacob in all of us. All looking out for number one. Trying to make sure we come out ahead, on top, whatever kind of business we're doing. That's what he's about. Trusting God that just in case he don't come through, I don't put all my eggs in one basket. That's what he did. And it came to pass that when Isaac was old and his eyes were dim, this is Genesis 27:1. It came to pass that when Isaac was old and his eyes were dim, so that he could not see, he called Esau his eldest son, and said unto him, My son. And he said unto him, Behold, here I am. Now they're grown up now. And Isaac is on his way out. He's dying. So he's gonna try to bless Esau, who's the eldest son, which he's supposed to do. But remember, God told his wife, Rebecca, that the blessing is going to be with the younger son, but obviously she didn't tell him. But his favorite was Esau, because Esau was a hunter. And Jacob's more of a houseboy. He's a tent boy. He's soft and, up under his mom, he's mama's boy. This is a man of the forest here, Esau. He's out hunting, bringing home deer and wild games. His dad loves him. He's a man's man. He's hairy too on top of it. The other Jacob smooth. He doesn't have any hair on his arm. And it came to pass that when Isaac was old and his eyes were dim, so that he could not see, he called Esau his elder son, and said unto him, My son. And he said unto him, Behold, here I am. And he said, Behold now, I am old. I know not the day of my death. Now therefore take, I pray thee, thy weapons, thy quiver and thy bow, and go out into the field and take me some venison. You see? Send him hunting. And make me savory meat, such as I love, and bring it to me, that I may eat, and my soul may bless thee before I die. And Rebekah heard when Isaac spake to Esau his son, and Esau went to the field to hunt for venison. So he's out on a hunting expedition. And to bring it. And Rebekah spake unto Jacob, her son, saying, Jacob, behold, I heard thy father speak to Esau, thy brother, saying, Bring me venison, and make me savory meat, that I may eat, and bless thee before the Lord, and bless thee before the Lord before my death. Now therefore, my son, obey my voice, according to which I command thee. Go now to the flock, and fetch me from thence 2 good kids, baby goats, of the goats, and I will make them savory meat for thy father, such as he loveth. And thou shalt bring it to thy father, that he may eat, and that he may bless thee before his death. So she's going to trick the old man. She's going to have Jacob go, hurry up, they're going to throw this food together while he's dying, and she's going to dress him up like Esau, she's going to put some woolly pads on him, on his arms or something, so when he feels the arms, he know they're hairy. and try to steal his blessing, his inheritance. And Jacob said to Rebekah his mother, Behold, Esau, my brothers, are hairy men, and I am a smooth man. See? My father maybe will feel me, and I shall seem to him as a deceiver, and I shall bring a curse upon me and not a blessing. And his mother said unto him, Upon me be thy curse, my son, only obey my voice and go fetch me them. And he went and fetched and brought them to his mother. And his mother made savory meat such as his father loved. And Rebekah took goodly raiment of her eldest son Esau, which were with her in the house. So she took his clothes, because it has his sin on it, and put them on Jacob, her younger son. And she put the skins of the kids of the goats upon his hands, to make his hands appear hairy. So she's got everything planned. When a woman's determined, she's going to get her way. And she put the skins of the kids of the goats on his hands and up on the smooth of his neck. And she gave, so he's hairy now, she gave the savory meat and the bread which she had prepared unto the hand of her son Jacob. And he came to his father and said, My father, he said, Here I am. Who art thou, my son? And Jacob said unto his father, I am Esau, thy firstborn. Now don't forget they're twins now. So I'm pretty sure my voice pattern might be off a little bit, not much. But it was enough to throw the old man off. I have done according as thou hast badest me. Arise, I pray thee, sit and eat of my venison, that thy soul may bless me. And Isaac said unto his son, How is it that thou hast found it so quickly, my son? And he said, Because the Lord thy God brought it to me. Lies, yeah. But show you, God's going to honor this lie. This is a lie. They deceiving the old man. Everything is true. He is a deceiver. But God's ways are not our ways. But you'll see why God made his choice. Now, earlier, I've almost left that out. Esau was out hunting. This is why God made his choice. Esau was out hunting, and he was starving. And he came to Jacob, and Jacob had some lentil soup or something going. And he was starving. So he said, give me some soup or I'm going to die. He thought he was going to die of starvation. He didn't catch anything while he was hunting. And Jacob said, unless you sell me your birthright, you ain't going to eat. So he said, well, I don't care about this birthright. What good is a birthright if I'm getting ready to die? So he said, sold. So he sold the birthright for a pot of lentil soup. Now you know why God hated him. In that birthright, keep in mind, was the Messiah. So he sold the Messiah out for, I'm sure he probably gave him the whole pot. Probably just say a pot of lentil soup. That's why God hated him. And that's why he's getting the birthright right here. And Isaac said unto his son, How is it that thou hast found it so quickly, my son? And he said, Because the Lord thy God brought it to me. And Isaac said unto Jacob, Come near, I pray thee, that I may feel thee, my son, whether thou be my very son Esau or not. And Jacob went near unto Isaac his father, and he felt him. And remember, he's blind. And he felt him, and said, The voice is of Jacob's voice. The old man ain't too far gone. His ears are good. But the hands are the hands of Esau. And he discerned him not, because his hands were hairy, as his brother Esau's hands. So he blessed him. So the deception paid off. And he said, Art thou my very son Esau? And he said, I am. He's still lying. He's holding to his guns, Jacob is. And he said, Bring it near to me, and I will eat of my son's venison, that my soul may bless thee. And he brought it near to him, and he did eat. And he brought him wine, and he drank. And his father Isaac said unto him, Come now, and kiss me, my son. And he came near and kissed him, and he smelled the smell of his raiment. See, they had it all mapped out, that mother and him, and blessed him, and said, See, the smell of my son is as the smell of the field, which the Lord hath blessed. So they fooled the old man. Therefore God gave thee of the dew of heaven, and the fatness of the earth, and the plenty of corn and wine. Let thy people serve thee, and nations bow down to thee. Be Lord over thy brethren, and let thy mother's sons bow down to thee. Cursed be every one that curseth thee, and blessed be every one that blesseth thee. Remember that. Remember this promise right here. Through Jacob. And it came to pass, as soon as Isaac had made an end of the blessing, Jacob was yet scarce gone. Jacob barely got out the tent. And here comes Esau. Now you can read the rest for yourself. We're going to stop there because we're doing skip tracing. Just wanted to show you he got the inheritance now. He got blessed. It's irreversible. Even though it was done out of trickery, he was con, still the blessing stands. All right, so now we're going to move on to Genesis 28:11. That's not far. Let's see, let me make sure. Okay, now by the way, Esau's mad that he got cheated and he wants to kill. I mean, literally kill his brother for this because he said, my brother's a con artist. Keeps getting over him. He done stole my inheritance. Now he's really concerned about this inheritance. I guess he forgot about that deal he made for that lentil soup. Okay, so we're going to move on. 28:11. Oh, let me go here first. 27. Stay in for 27. I'm sorry. 27:42. And these words of Esau, her elder son, was told Rebekah. And she said, Jacob's upset. And he said, I'm going to kill my brother. So the mother overheard him. And these words of Esau, her elder son, were told to Rebekah. And she said and called Jacob, her younger son, and said to him, Behold, thy brother Esau is on touching thee, doth comfort himself, proposing to kill thee. See? That's verse 27:42. Now therefore, my son, obey my voice, and arise, and flee. He said, run for your life to Laban, that's his uncle, my brother, to Haran. Haran is his father. That was Abraham's brother. Now that you understand he's on the run because his brother's getting ready to kill him. So now and his brother's a killer. That's what he does. He's a hunter. Don't mess with a hunter. That's what he does. He kills. So anyway, we'll go to verse 28:11. Keep up with me now. And he lighted up on a certain place and tarried there all night. And he's on the run. So he's out in this desolate desert. And I'm sure he's worried about his life because he knows his brother's determined to wipe him out. And he lighted up on a certain place and tarried there all night because the sun was set. And he took of the stones of that place and put them for his pillows. And he lay down in that place to sleep. Now this is a desolate place. A place that seems hopeless. Pay close attention. And he dreamed, and behold, a ladder set up on the earth, and the top of it reached to heaven. He's viewing a portal to heaven. And behold, the angels of God ascended and descended on it. And behold, the Lord stood above it. Now he's seeing the Lord himself above this ladder, looking down. And behold, the Lord stood above it and said, I am the Lord God of Abraham, thy father. The Lord God of Abraham, thy father, and the God of Isaac. Land whereon thou liest, to thee will I give it, and to thy seed. So pay close attention. This is a covenant that's being passed on. And thy seed shall be as the dust of the earth. And thou shalt spread abroad to the west, and to the east, and to the north, and to the south. And in thee and in thy seed shall all the families of the earth be blessed. And behold, I am with thee, and I will keep thee in all places whither thou goest. And I will bring thee again to this place, for I will not leave thee until I have done that which I have spoken to thee of. This is a covenant God is sealing with him. He already told Abraham, told Isaac, now he's telling him. And Jacob awakened out of his place and said, surely the Lord is in this place, and I knew it not. That's what I wanted you to pay close attention to. God is with us in our mess, our circumstance. He's in a mess. He's on the run. He's in a desolate place. He said, I didn't know God was in this place. Yes. And God is with you in your place, wherever you are, whatever you're living. This is a message of hope. That's why I titled it Jacob's Ladder. It may not seem like it. You may, whatever your circumstance may be, it could be financial, a financial mess, a desolation, sickness, health, family, whatever. It could be bondage to some type of drug, sin, whatever. But God is with you in your mess. Jacob's Ladder. Remember this message for hope. And it didn't seem like it. He said it didn't seem like it. And Jacob woke out of his sleep and said, surely the Lord is in his place. And the sleep is metaphor for now he's alert that God is with him in this position, in this mess. And I want you to wake up out of your sleep. Lord said, I'll never leave you nor forsake you. One of God's names is Jehovah Shammah. The Lord is there. And he was afraid and said, how dreadful is this place? This is none but the house of God. And this is the gate of heaven. This is the portal to heaven. And Jacob arose up early in the morning and took the stone that he had put for his pillows and set it up for a pillar and poured oil upon it. He anointed the top of the stone. And they carried that stone with them, Israel. That was a stone that brought forth water when he was in the desert, called Jacob's pillar stone. And I'm going to give you a tease. I ain't going to go no further than that. But that stone represented the house of God. And wherever that stone was, God said he told through David that there won't be a day where the sun and the moon, as long as they're in the sky, that there won't be a king on the throne. And that stone will be wherever God's kings are why am I slipping on this word? Where they're coordinated. What's the word? Coordination. Coordination. Wherever these kings, that stone is going to be there. Now that stone currently resides in England. And every king and queen, that stone is under their throne. Yeah. Let's get your teeth. Ain't going no further than that. And they called the stone, by the way, Leophel, the stone of destiny, Jacob's pillar. And they done tested that stone, and the stone comes from Palestine. That's all I'm going to tell you. And he was afraid and said, how dreadful is this place? And this is none other than the house of God, and this is the gate of heaven. And Jacob arose up early in the morning and took the stone. Now this is a particular stone. Remember, this stone stays with Israel, the house of Israel. Stone stayed with them all those years. Even when they were traveling in the wilderness, that stone was with them. They had two things. They had that stone, and they had Joseph's bones that they carried up out of Egypt. But they had this stone too. And this was the rock. They always referred to it as the rock they carried with them, the one that Moses smote. The water came out. And he called the name of that place Bethel, but the name of the city was called Luz of the first. Now, now that we establish Jacob's ladder, go to verse 32:24. Now, Esau's in hot pursuit, and Jacob's really afraid now. And he went down to his uncle's, got him some wives. He had an uncle that was a cheat. That was a better hustler than himself. Jacob was a hustler, but this hustler out hustled him, and had him work for his two daughters, Leah and Rachel. He tricked him. He had him work. He thought he was working for Rachel. That's the one he was in love with. But he put a veil over, and in the tent, he's a horny man. He ain't thinking, the tent's dark. She got the veil on, and so he goes to do the wild thing, and then wake up the next morning and with the veil off and see that he had Rachel's sister instead of Rachel, the one he loved. And so he had slaved for 7 years for his uncle, for Rachel, and ended up being tricked. Then his uncle said, well, if you want Rachel, you got to work another 7 years, because she's a virgin, and you got to, how the game goes. So he ended up slaving for his uncle for 14 years. Now he got his uncle back. He cheated him out of the cattle. What he did is get some dye, and the weak cattle, he painted stripes on, and told his uncle that, those were he took the strong ones, the ones that didn't have any rings or marks on them, and gave his uncle the weak ones. So he paid him back by stealing the cattle rustling. So it was just one hustler. I'll try to hustle another. So his uncle was pissed about those cattle too. He said he jacked me for my cattle, and Jacob ended up leaving him because he thought he'd be a slave forever, and took his daughters and the cattle with him. So he's also got Laban. He's pissed at him and want to get him, and now he got Esau still in hot pursuit. So this is the scene here. So Jacob is really, really, really afraid. So 32:24, Genesis. And Jacob was left alone, and there wrestled a man with him until the break of day. Now this wasn't a man, this was an angel. And Jacob wrestled with this angel all night. And when he saw that he prevailed not against him, he touched the hollow of his thigh. The angel touched his thigh and dislocated his thigh. And the hollow of Jacob's thigh was out of joint as he wrestled with him. He crippled it. I mean, if your thigh bone comes out of socket, you're crippled. And it's painful. And he said, let me go, for the day breaketh. He's still holding on to the angel, even though he's crippled. He still ain't going to let him go. And Jacob, I guess, was in pretty good shape. And he said, I will not let thee go, except thou bless me. So he's holding on to angel for a blessing. So I ain't going to let you go, angel, until you bless me. And he said unto him, what is thy name? Now the angel made him confess his name. What is his name? I just told you earlier. Name is Jacob, which means surplanter, hustler. And he said, Jacob. He confessed his name. That's just like a confession of, I'm a sinner. And he said, thy name shall no more be called Jacob, but Israel. Now, Israel is an interesting name. It means, may God prevail, or God govern, or soldier of God. Now, he's no longer Jacob. In other words, doing what he wanted to do. Hustling, but looking out for number one. He even split his families up in case Esau ran up on him. He wouldn't wipe out everything. He still have something left. He split his divided his family up in his cattle and everything, so he wouldn't get all of it in one shot. Spread them out in the companies. But that was Jacob, always looking out for number one, always a plan in the head. In case God don't come through, he has a backup plan. So God crippled him with that. Because he was naturally strong. Now he's crippled. So he faces his brother. He has no choice but to trust God because he can't fight his brother. He's crippled. Now, I'm going to leave you with one more thing. Well, let's finish reading this. Verse 27, he said to him, what is thy name? And he said, Jacob. He said, thy name should not be called no more Jacob, but Israel. Now, that's the nation of Israel right now. They bear that name that was formerly Jacob's, Israel. Now, remember what God told Jacob. I'm going to bless those that bless you and curse those that curse you. And he's talking to a nation. Jacob represents the nation. So whoever blesses Israel, the nation of Israel, is blessed, and whoever curses him is cursed. And that applies today. Nothing's changed. That applies today. Whoever's cursing Israel today is cursed. And whoever's blessing Israel today is blessed. That's what God said it. You just read it earlier. And that flows through Jacob and his descendants.